Welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard. It is time for the final week. It's Championship weekend. We have two teams that have risen above the rest. It is the Stallions, surprise, surprise, from the USFL, and the first time San Antonio Brahmas, the Rock's own team, who've done a pretty impressive turnaround this season, considering where they came from in the XFL last year. These two are going to battle it out this weekend. Smokey, how are you doing?
Whoa, excuse me. I am good. I am better than Battlehawks fans right now because everybody looked at the Battlehawks as a shoo-in, but apparently that AJ McCarron injury was weighing on him more than anyone thought it would. In his return, he just was not himself. They tried to depend on the run game against this Wade Phillip defense, and that did not work out because the San Antonio Brahmas have an excellent run defense, and as great as Jacob Sailors is, he just could not get the job done. And AJ McCarron was not absolutely horrible. There was no egregious turnovers or anything, but he just was not himself, and he could not just bomb the ball like he usually does to pick up big wins like that. And the Brahmas are in. But how are you, Alex?
I'm pretty good. My team's in the championship, third year in a row. Can't complain. We have won the USFL. It's looking good. I would have preferred the Battlehawks because that's my favorite XFL team. But before the season, I did commit to the Stallions. So either way, I would have had to root for Birmingham in this championship game. And now with it being the Brahmas, it's all the easier for me to do that. So Stallions set for a three-peat potentially, become the most dominant team in spring football history. Let's all hope that happens. But the Brahmas are a formidable team. I think it's going to be a very tough game, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Looking forward to talking about it as well. And by the way, we'll also quickly talk about the awards which have been announced this time before the championship game. Some maybe controversial ones, but some of them not so much. I guess we'll go through the prediction first, talk about this game, quickly hit at the awards in the end. So, what's your first impression going into this?
I mean, everybody's going to be picking the Stallions, right? I mean, that's going to be the favorite. The betting odds are going to favor the Stallions just because of their record. But I don't think it's as dead set as people are going to believe, because the Stallions actually kind of struggled in that game against the Panthers. And the MVP of the league, Adrian Martinez, was actually benched halfway through this game. Matt Corral came in and saved the game for them. But there was a ton of turnovers, not just on the Michigan Panthers side. The Stallions committed a ton of turnovers in that game. It was one of the weirdest games I've seen all year from this league. It was just turnover after turnover after turnover. That third quarter was absolutely ridiculous with the turnovers that were going on. And the Stallions ended up winning through the run game, basically, and a little help from Matt Corral. Even Matt Corral threw one interception there, so as weird as it was, he still had to get one in there. But he absolutely saved the game, in my opinion, along with C.J. Marable and one really good Ricky Pearson touchdown. This game was won on the ground and through defense. It's crazy that the score was so high in the end. If you just look at the box score or just the score itself, you would say, oh, okay, so, this was not much of a defensive battle, right? But it absolutely was. This game was won by defense, and it was almost won by defense on the other side, because the Panthers were dominating this game up to the halftime. They seemed to run out of steam. Danny Etling absolutely run out of steam in the second half of this game, and we should have saw a quarterback change, much like the Stallions did, but apparently Mike Nolan wanted to roll with Danny Etling until the end and see what happens, but he was not scoring at the end. It was nothing but turnover after turnover. So the Stallions' run team and defense outlasted the Panthers' run team and defense. But on the other side, the Brahmas have a head of steam going into this game. Chase Gabers, after coming back from his injury and not being that wonderful the week before, Chase Gabers absolutely showed up in this game. Outside of one interception, he looked really good. He looked like he could absolutely go up against the Stallions defense in this game. Anthony McFarland and Jonathan Lovett are going to be the key to this game, though. Regardless, Chase Gabbers is going to have to play great, but Anthony McFarland and John Lovett absolutely rolled right over that Battlehawks defense. As great as CJ Marable and Ricky Pearson were for the Stallions, Anthony McFarland and John Lovett were that much better because this run game was absolutely rolling. It looked like one of those old school power run schemes there, and that makes sense with Wade Phillips being the coach, right? I mean, he's been coaching since the 70s, early 70s, I believe it is. Of course, he loves schemes like that. You play defense, you get your power run, your power I, or whatever the old school guys did. And, if you got to throw the ball, make it to short passes, although Jontre Kirkland can absolutely go downfield at any moment. And as long as Chase Gabers has the arm strength to hit the guy, they can score. Marquez Stevenson also absolutely wonderful out there on the sides. Do you want my prediction as to who I think is going to win this right now? Because I have a feeling I know who you're going to pick in this game.
I mean, I think my pick is the most predictable pick in history, but please feel free to give yours first. There's some suspense there at least.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to make this interesting. The hard absolutely says the Stallions are going to win this game, but I need to make it interesting, right? And I do see a window for the Brahmas to win this. And it's through defense and the run game, much like the Stallions are going to do. With Adrian Martinez getting benched halfway through this game as the reigning MVP of the league, this team may not be set up as well as we would think for the Stallions to win. It's going to be on the defense. Skip Holtz has to get this team to win through the defense and the run game, but the Brahmas are going to do the exact same thing. As long as Chase Gabers comes through on top of Anthony McFarland and John Lovett, and there's not 8,000 turnovers like we saw last week from the Michigan and Birmingham game, the Brahmas do have a window to win this game, and I think Wade Phillips in the end will just have to outcoach Skip Holtz here. They're going to go blow for blow. I think this is going to be a close game. I think it's not necessarily going to be a shootout, in my opinion, because it's going to be done mostly on the ground. So it's going to be a run out for the most part. But I think the Brahmas can do this. So I will pick the Brahmas to go ahead and take this to keep it interesting between me and you.
All right. So as you have correctly predicted, I'll take it off the top. I will pick the Stallions. It's my team. They've been the best team all year. I'll take them to win. Couple of things that make me confident about it, couple of things that give me second thoughts. Now, the Stallions have been the best team in the league all year round, on average, just throughout. They've been the best, and we said week one they're going to be the best, and they never left the power ranking spot number one even for a week. They've been the best team every single week. You could have an argument to put the Brahmas above them toward the end of the season, because the Stallions lost one game, and it happened to be the one game they scored just 9 points. That was the game in San Antonio. Now, that was at San Antonio. The Brahmas are not having any home field advantage this time. Game's being played in technically a neutral side, which is St. Louis, but I have a suspicion that the St. Louis crowd is not exactly going to cheer for the Brahmas. So maybe that'll actually help Birmingham a tiny bit. Now, you were right about the odds, though. I'm curious if you can guess, like right now, as of today, it's Wednesday. What do you think the bookmakers have this game at?
The point spread?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 6 in favor of the Stallions.
It's nowhere near that.
Really?
That much. It is 3 points.
Really?
3 points. And a projected 61% chance to win for the Stallions. So 3 points is not a whole lot. No. And that is a credit to the fact that the Brahmas beat the Stallions. If the Stallions had won that week 9 game and are here at 10-0, I think it's probably 5 or 6 points. Probably 6 points. But with that one, and you got it exactly right. I mean, this big strength of the Brahmas, the one thing that they're just better than Birmingham is playing defense. If they can keep this to a low-scoring game, not get that offense firing. And we might see a lot of run game and defense from both these teams because that's both of their specialties. So it should make it for a very interesting championship game. It's probably going to look like one of the Super Bowls from the 70s or something back in the day. It'll be a close one. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I don't think it'll be anywhere near over after 3 quarters. And that's all you can ask for, right, if you're San Antonio. Of course, you have the more limited roster, top to bottom. But strategically speaking, you match up well against what Birmingham is trying to do, which is take some time off, run the ball, and just hit you with the explosive plays. The Brahmas are maybe the best defensive team in the league, but so were the Panthers, and Birmingham found a way around them more and more. So the first game was very close in week 10, right? It was a 1-point game, and then last year, at halftime, the Stallions made the adjustments they need to make to finally crack that defense. I still have confidence that they'll be able to do the same thing for San Antonio as well. But one thing that's also a little bit raises a little bit of doubt, so I guess for both teams actually, like what's the over-under of like total quarterbacks that will take snaps this game? Because both of these teams apparently now are not. Like, the starting quarterbacks may not be set in stone. And both these teams have rotated quarterbacks.
Oh, absolutely. I do think that Chase Garbers is probably set, and Wade Phillips is planning on him playing the entire game, unless something happens and we see a halftime change, much like with Adrian Martinez and Matt Corral in the last game for the Stallions. I don't know. Then we may see a quarterback change here, but I don't think Skip Holtz is afraid. I mean, obviously he's not. Look what he's done all season and the very last game. He is not afraid to switch it up if he feels like we're in danger of losing the game. So
yeah.
I would.
He will take out the MVP in the middle of a conference championship game, right? If he needs to.
That's what he did.
Wins the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And I mean, Quentin Dormady has arguably been the best Brahmas quarterback this year.
Yeah, well, is he really, though? Because Chase Garbers, outside of one bad game, has had a phenomenal season when he's on the field.
They've both been really good, right? That's the thing. But I see the thing is, if either of these teams goes into halftime having scored like 3 points, I can see them making a change at quarterback, both of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's very possible. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Absolutely possible.
And like I said, Matt Corral was way better than Adrian Martinez in this past game. It's crazy to say because he just won the MVP. It's a really weird situation they have going on there. But Skip Holtz is not afraid to do that if he needs to, and it works. So it's probably a good chance it will happen again. He may actually even plan on going into this game giving a 50-50 split to these two quarterbacks because of how it's played out.
Man. That would be insane, right? Have the MVP and have him like be a rotational quarterback. But you could also argue Matt Corral would have been the favorite to win MVP had he won the starting spot in week 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I'm taking the Stallions. I have confidence. It's time to make some history. Well, they already have, but to make some more history. This is back-to-back championship. That's not a coincidence. That's all Skip Holtz. That's, to you, it's dark magic. To me, it's just being good. They're doing the right thing. They keep recruiting the right quarterbacks year in, year out, putting them in the best, most favorable situations. And they keep cranking out all UFL players. To me, that's going to be a three-peat for the Stallions. But everyone should let me know or let us know in the comments what they think as well. Now, I've already hinted at this, but the season awards, regular season awards, have been announced in the past week. So, do you want to talk about these?
Yes.
Really quickly. Now,
I do.
We have a couple that maybe aren't the biggest surprises. Adrian Martinez wins the MVP. Quarterback for the Stallions. I think well-deserved. Follows the legacy of Alex Magoo from last year. That's also back-to-back. Now, Offensive Player of the Year, I think we had sort of 2 or 3 guys in mind. Like McCarron, Hakeem Butler, and maybe John Lovett. Ended up being Hakeem Butler, and in my opinion, justified. I think he was probably the most dominant offensive player on the field in this league.
Yeah, Yeah, obviously. Although he did not play the entire season, which missing games seems to have held some players back out of these awards. So maybe John Lovett would have been a little more justified there, or even Anthony McFarland, his teammate, or CJ Marable for that case. But yeah, you can't argue too much with Akeem Butler. No doubt over the past 2 seasons, he is the best wide receiver in all of the spring leagues. So can't argue too much.
Yeah, that even goes to speak for him more, right? He had to battle through injury, missed some time, still led the league in receiving by a good amount. When he's on the field, like he is the single biggest threat, single biggest weapon in the league. Mm-hmm. And that'll count for something. Our defensive player of the year, we actually have a back-to-back. I don't know. Has that happened in the NFL ever? Did J.J. Watt do it, or Aaron Donald or something?
Oh, Aaron Donald
Breland
may
Speaks.
have. Yeah.
He may have. Yeah. Breland Speaks. Once again, the defensive player of the year. 9.5 sacks. It's almost a sack a week. Last year, he spent some time in the NFL. Didn't quite make the final roster for the 49ers. Let's see if he gets another chance this year. I figured he would, right? He's clearly still on that level. Yeah, he's defensive player of the year for the Panthers. Yeah. No surprise there. Dominates the spring league every year.
Yeah, I don't even know. Who else would you maybe have put in there? Maybe Carlos Davis for the Stallions.
Yeah, probably.
DeAndre Baker, for the DC Defenders, the cornerback. But obviously they're going to go with one of the...
Kai Nakua.
Yeah, absolutely. But usually they're going to go with one of the playoff teams. So it makes sense. I mean... The guy probably...
Pass rusher, too.
Yeah, exactly. You want an edge or an outside linebacker. Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly. That's now Coach of the Year. This is, again, the Panthers for maybe the biggest, most successful turnaround in Mike Nolan. That's also a name we know from the NFL. He's making a name for himself in the UFL. Mm-hmm. Deserved, or who would you have decided to pick someone else here?
That's not a bad pick. I mean, other than that, Wade Phillips probably would have been in the running. Skip Holtz is kind of out of the question. Not that he's done anything wrong, but since it's the Stallions and he probably already won one anyway, maybe 2 at this point. So Wade Phillips, because of the turnaround also, that you could put him in there, but he's also a well-accomplished guy that was in the NFL for 1,000 years. So Mike Nolan was probably the most trendy pick out of this, and the Panthers were so good this year that I have no argument with that.
Yeah, that's fair enough too. I can see it. I mean, you could always give it to the coach of the best team, right? Say Skip Holtz. But I think given the coaching job that needed to be done for the Panthers to get to where they were, giving them a playoff spot, was a lot harder than, taking the Stallions from the championship to another championship. So I can see them giving the credit here. Now here may be the most controversial one, and that's Special Teams Player of the Year. For some reason, they gave it to Chris Garrett for the Battlehawks, who's a true special teamer. They don't make this distinction, but technically a specialist, aka a kicker, is not a special teamer. Those are different things. But they don't have a specialist award of the year. So I have to assume that kickers and punters are candidates for the Special Teams Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the big question is, why not Jake Bates?
Absolutely. I don't understand this. I mean, Chris Garrett is officially a linebacker also, but yes, he does play on special teams as a blocker. But he had some phenomenal blocks, I suppose, throughout the year. Like, there's that.
Blocked 2 punts and forced 2 fumbles on returns as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But Jake Bates has done something that you probably won't even see in the NFL ever. Something that Justin Tucker hasn't even accomplished.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you can have a player that does something this phenomenal and not at least give him Special Teams Player of the Year. I think it would help the league. If anything, you draw attention to, hey, something happened in our league that broke a professional football record that has never been done before. So here's our guy that did it, you know. But Jake Bates will go off to the NFL not carrying that award. I think that's bad for the league, in my opinion.
Well, he did make the All UFL team,
Yeah.
at least, as the number one kicker. And Marquette King did as well as a punter, by the way. There's your one renegade. No, hang on. There's two renegades on the team. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wasn't there a Memphis guy that made the All UFL? Yes, Daywood Davis.
Yes.
That was one that...
The only showboat.
Yeah.
The one only showboat. Yep.
I mean, he wasn't bad, but that pick makes no sense, in my opinion. There's
also one Houston Roughneck.
Yeah.
Chris Odom. You could have figured him. He was really good.
But you pick Daywood Davis over Jontre Kirkland like that. How does that make any sense?
I don't know. I guess they really needed to have a Memphis player on there. It would look bad.
I guess so.
Otherwise, I don't know who else to put.
Yeah. Makes no sense to me. But Jacob Sailors is not a horrible pick at running back for the All UFL team, but you do have John Lovett, Anthony McFarland, and C.J. Marable out there who did not get that position.
Could have been either of them. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's it why Jake Bates did not win this award, because you already have Breland Speaks and Mike Nolan winning, and they did not want it Panthers heavy. Is there one of those two guys you would have changed to get Jake Bates that award?
Only the coach, if at all.
Yeah.
I think only the coach. I mean, give it to Skip Holtz. Why not, right? Default answer.
Yeah. I mean, I would have done Wade Phillips, but Skip Holtz is not a bad answer.
Wade Phillips is good, too. I guess Brahmas had a turnaround. Well, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
Give it to him and then make Jake Bates a player. Now you have, you have like 2 Battle Hawks, 2 Panthers. Right, and 1 Stallion in the awards.
Yeah.
Still pretty concentrated.
Yeah.
Among the teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You would think the Brahmas are here. We could get some of those guys in the awards, but at least a few of them made the All UFL team, I guess.
Yeah, surprisingly little for a team that won their conference. They have fewer all USFL teams players than the Renegades.
Doesn't make sense there.
Somehow.
Yeah, we got Cole Laveo at offensive guard, and both of the offensive guards came from San Antonio. Yeah. No. Actually, Zach Johnson is on there from the Stallions.
They have one.
Yeah.
He's a Stallion, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
They only have two all UFL players.
Yeah,
that's weird.
That is weird. It's very weird.
I guess it's a real team effort then.
Yeah.
Truly a team effort. And a great coaching job. I guess that justifies giving Wade Phillips the coach of the year award, and then Jake Bates can have the special teams player.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining about a Battlehawk winning an award.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's not a horrible pick. If Jake Bates hadn't done what he had done this year, then no one would care. But if you do look on X right now and where they posted the award, everyone is in the comments complaining.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Because he's like the most famous spring league kicker of all time already, just by this one season.
Yeah. And I have a feeling he's probably going to accomplish something similar in the NFL, because I have no doubts that he will be there next year.
Yeah. He would be an above average kicker in the NFL year one if he continued playing like he has been. He'd be in the top 10.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to see it. Yeah, it should be interesting to follow him, see where he ends up. Just some kicker needy teams. Or maybe some teams will bring him in for like a camp shootout.
Yeah.
As well. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, competition.
Absolutely. But those are the awards. Maybe we can have some opinions on those as well. If anyone has anything to say, feel free to let us know. If there's anything that you thought was clearly missed or should have been changed. I think we've predicted most of these. At least we've hinted at them. Jake Bates might be the one big surprise. But big focus on the championship game. Let us know what you think. I have the Stallions. Smokey, for entertainment purposes, has the San Antonio Brahmas. Stallions are slightly favored, not as much as some people would think. they should be, but you yourself say you can't beat a team twice, or it's harder to beat a team twice.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Brahmas have a little bit of struggle there. Also, it's going to be a hot game. They're playing in St. Louis. It's going to be 100 degrees.
Yeah.
So that should favor probably the run offense and sort of defense-heavy play, or specifically the run offense-heavy play.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be an interesting watch for sure. Coming up this Sunday, let us know what you think about this game. Do we have anything to add, Smokey?
No, I think that's it for this week.
All right, then we are closing off the UFL chapter 2024, and looky there, the NFL is almost starting. How good that spring football exists. It bridges most of the dog days that we used to have during the football season.
Oh, yeah.
In a month, we can start covering training camp in the NFL, so that's great. Let us know what you think about the game, and we will see you in the next one.
Deuces.